Alright, without further ado, I'm just going to start going through all of these setups. Right here, knife, Andy Cole Pro Model. I don't remember the mold name. 36 mil, 100 mil in length. 34 mil BRT3s, the gold ones, and some, what are they called? J4 material, black core V2 dual durometer wheels, and Zane shit tuning, like the looser tuning. This is probably my most used setup right now and is primarily my outdoor setup at the moment. And then another heavily used one is this Stung Decks egg-shaped Eldridge mold deck, denim ply on the bottom, just like sort of a blank with a little star. Dude Guy F1s, grippy as hell, and 34 mil Jindies with half G sheets loose tuning and half stock tuning. Oh yeah, and the tape on all these, literally all these right now, are dynamic tape. Dynamic tape is the shit. I love this setup a lot, and it's the sort of higher mold with low concave, and the kicks are pretty small on this particular shape, so it's like a really interesting board to use. This is an old C3 cow ply that my lady has repainted in this cow print, which is really dope. Kraken trucks, which are really interesting with stock tuning. I really like these. They grind very well, and they're super, like, the edge of these is pretty sharp, so it makes like a real grimy sound when it grinds, and it slides really smoothly to boot. Lab wheels, they're like this sort of green, these are Lab Raws, and they're this green, like seafoam green and pink combination. Just got those, loving those. I use this mostly indoors, but we'll use it outdoors. And also I use this is like my Swiss Army knife. I can kind of use it for whatever. Rogan deck, 33.6 mil with the deer on it, super freaking sweet. 32 mil Jindies, stock tuning, and SunPower High Riders, I think they are. Dynamic tape, like I said, everything's dynamic tape. This is probably just the nicest setup that I have in terms of feeling. These High Riders are no joke. They're wonderful wheels. This is usually indoors, but I will take this outside. And Rogan decks, man, they're super good. The shape is incredible. They're a little shorter. I think this is like a 98 or a 96 mil. But this thing, this whole package right here, there's nothing that feels like it, and I just won't change it. It just feels too good. Alright, and then newest acquisition, a OG, I think it's a low mold Berlin wood 33 mil with 32 mil Jindies, stock tuning, and the blue piggy wheels from SunPower, the really big jaunts. This thing is sick. This is going to be like the new primary indoor setup, because selfishly I want to keep this clean, because I had this deck years ago. Like, I traded it with my friend who doesn't fingerboard anymore. And Eddie FB had this thing like unused, but gotta use it, you know what I mean? I'm no archivist, I just want to use this shit. Finally, moving on to the sort of mock-up 35 mil popsicle Stung deck in the in its lower mold. I'm forgetting the name of it right now, which is sacrilege, but dynamic 34s and flat face G6, flat face blistered G6s, G8s, whichever, the smaller ones. This is a great deck. I love this lower mold a lot, especially with like a fat nose and a fat tail. I've used this outside, but primarily just sort of like a board to have set up and one to be able to use a lot for whatever I'd like. The ones that I really primarily use are going to be this knife, this Stung deck here, And those are like the two primaries, I guess. And then the Rogan and the Cowply are sort of interchangeable, but the third most used is going to be this Rogan for sure. Indoors, there's just nothing like it. Going to be using this a lot, but also aim to keep this like kind of nice looking for a little bit, just for nostalgia's sake. Then this is just going to be like the backup outdoor use for a lot of stuff. These blistered wheels, or the urethane on these, is great. The shape is great with that flat face G6 or G8, whichever I'm forgetting. But yeah, I love this setup a lot, and I love these wheels outside a lot. In particular, these are probably my favorite wheels to use outside, other than these SunPowers or these Dude guys. But the J4 duals, I mean, even these too, the J4 duals, as far as a plastic wheel goes, like, these are a very close second to these high riders. The SunPower wheels are just perfect. But yeah, just a quick little overview of what I'd be using.